Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. I just wanted to say thank you for anyone or for everyone who has been so supportive of the lives that I do with Tina. And I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are all snug and warm if you're in cold weather. And it's actually been a little chilly and windy here in Arizona. And also for the people that voted on topics and also times, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And the two topics that once Tina gets on here, we'll talk about will be emotional intelligence and communication skills. So I figured why not address them both and see what you guys think. If you guys want to give us some feedback, or appreciate it. If you want to be interactive, go ahead. Oh, Tina texted me. So sorry. One second. There we go. Hold on. Ah, come on. Did it work? Let's see if she could see me this time.
I'm doing it on my Apple phone and I can see you.
Yeah!
Just saying.
Damn! Flex again. Look at them guns.
Telling you, I'm getting them.
Damn!
Look at that. Even down here, my little Just saying.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, snap. Tina's on fire. I'm so proud of you. I'm so freaking proud of you.
Well, you're
doing amazing.
You're my inspiration.
Well, I'm glad I could be your inspiration, but you're the one doing the work.
Thanks. I'm trying to turn this phone off. Sorry.
Did you cut your hair?
I did.
It looks beautiful.
I took about 3 inches off.
I can see that. Nice.
Yeah.
Mine's all curly. Well, I need to straighten it so you can actually see how long it is. Because wasn't this like super curly? It looks so short.
The curly.
So then it looks like I like always chop my hair. Well, I cut it like about every like a month and a half or so. Then I trim it, you know.
Do you trim it yourself?
Yeah, I don't trust too many people with my hair.
And go like clonk, clonk, clonk.
Oh, I can't do that. Like I have to like do it because with curly hair, most people don't know how to cut it. It seems like I want to anyways. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So
they say that you need to go to like an African American or a Mexican hairdresser, and they know how to deal with curls. White people don't. I'm just saying. That's why I cut my own damn hair. But yeah.
There's some that do, I would say, but like yeah, I need to find one that works. But I was saying that thank you to everyone on here, and then also the two topics, the emotional intelligence we're going to be talking about, and communication skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is why I don't like Samsung. I'm trying to turn this off and it will not let me turn my phone off. It's the weirdest thing. I can't, it takes over. Anyway.
That's
I can't.
No.
Yeah, I'm about ready to go back to Apple.
Raise your question.
You have a question? Raise your hand. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Let me power this mother off. Power off.
Shoot.
There. Okay, I think it went off. Okay, so.
I wanted to start off with the emotional intelligence and then kind of just go like describe it a little bit, and also like just elaborate a little bit on it, and then get your input on it, and then move on to the communication skill one. But like, for example, what is emotional intelligence, right? Well, it's the ability to recognize, understand, manage, influence your own emotions and emotions of others. It's also being in tune with your feelings, both yours and the people around you, and using the awareness to navigate life through more effectively. And how do you develop them? This is the thing, though, right? A lot of people want to know how to develop them. Well, for one, it's self awareness, right? Then it's self regulation, empathy, social skills, motivation, mindfulness and presence, emotional expressions and vulnerability. Also, like setting clear boundaries, reframing negative thoughts, continuous inner work is the key to all of it. To anything, if you want to grow, it's a continuous work that you have to put in, inner work, because otherwise you don't grow. And like, like, how do you become self-aware, right? You pay attention to your emotions, you pay attention how you affect your, like, how your thoughts and your thoughts affect your behaviors, and how your behaviors affect the things around you, right? How do you respond to things? And like, self-regulation is to manage your emotions rather than responding through, like, responding impulsively, right? So when you learn to regulate your emotions, you become in charge of them. But you also have to be vulnerable at the same time. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, it's a balance, right? You have to be able to be vulnerable, but you also have to use discernment. You can't look at things as like everybody's out to get you, but you also don't have to accept that everybody's got your best interest, right? So it's a tricky thing for people, right? Because as we go, you don't necessarily know, right? But that's where you start, you see once you know yourself, then you see the red flags as they come up, or the green flags. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not always about red flags.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. And then for like motivation, right? You cultivate the inner drive for your external rewards, right? So motivation, and that's why I tell people, like, all the time with like the gym, for example, right? It carries so much more than just being, a gym freak and things like that, or a gym rat or whatever else. Not everybody needs to work out 7 days a week, however, or super intense or whatever. Everybody's got different goals, right? Go with what you have. But that carries so much more, because it's the discipline of going that many times, or whatever you set your goal to. Let's say you set your goal to going 3 times a week. Well, guess what? 3 times a week, you get your ass in that gym, that discipline is going to carry to other things into your life. And then just like you're a great example of that. You went to the gym, and then what did it do? It caused you to start eating healthier. You wanted to pay attention to that. It carries into every single thing that we do, in my opinion, because it teaches you discipline. When you become disciplined with this, then you become disciplined with that, then it carries into the next thing and the next thing, and it causes a chain effect, right?
Yeah.
The same way negative thoughts create a chain effect, positive thinking creates a chain effect too, but you have to start somewhere. Like I tell people, I'm like, well, I'm gonna be judged if I go into the gym, or I can't lift that much, or I'm super overweight, I don't feel comfortable. Guess what? I can guarantee you that there's plenty of fit people in the planet, on this planet, that started overweight or too skinny or this or that, or had injuries, or had the fear of, like, being there in front of everybody else that was lifting heavy, and you know what though? You're not there for them. When you start thinking that way and carry that concept into other things, then you start stepping into your true power, right? Because you start taking in, you start absorbing everybody else's opinion. But again, it's a matter of knowing yourself enough, and like refraining from those negative thoughts, right? That's why I did that video with like the 21-day challenge. I'm like, every single time you feel like it's I can't do this, go against it. I challenge you to go against it, because if you hold yourself back, how do you expect for anything to work? nobody's going to come and pick you. You can have supportive people around you, but if you don't do the work, those supportive people, it's not going to mean anything. Because, yeah, sometimes we need it. You get into, let's say, a negative thought process, and you need somebody to be supportive. That's different, right? Everybody gets into that, but it's a matter of coming out of it. And when you become when you have emotional intelligence and you understand yourself, you become self-aware and things like that, and you learn how to cope with things, then you ultimately get to your goal, right? You realize, what is your purpose? Like, what were you meant to do? Are you doing that? And then get to it. Start in that direction to whatever your goals are.
You did. That's yeah. You hit some really good points there. A lot. One that stood out to me is about like going to the gym, and some people are just like, well, I'm too skinny, or I'm too overweight, or I'm this and that, and I'm not gonna, blah, blah, blah. You start, being afraid to go, or whatever it is. You don't think you're good. Maybe you don't think you're good enough to go, or whatever the circumstances. Because I did that. Like, I go to the gym and I get all like, oh man, it's like, I want to go over there and do that, but look at all those people, But I tell you what, when I got the courage up to go over there that one day, and I'm just standing right in front of the mirror where all the fucking muscle people were, and I'm just like doing my own thing. Nobody said a fucking thing. Nobody was even paying attention. And I just sat there, and it was good. It was good. I didn't feel so intimidated. I'm just like, and when you bring that, when I did that, and I can feel my confidence level like boop, about like this, right? And then I just do it. I'm just like, wow, it was like, I don't even know what the word was, but it felt really good.
It's empowering. It's empowering. Yeah.
And then you're right, because then I leave out of there. I'm like, head held high, girl.
Yeah.
Head held high. And it's just like, then you start feeling, and then you just, man, that's just that internal confidence builder. And it's a beautiful thing. But yeah.
Right.
It took me how many weeks to even step over there?
But you know what though? It's okay. It's a process, right? You start, and that's what people, it's not an overnight thing. And this is what I want people to understand. Sometimes people do it faster. With certain things you'll do it fast, certain things slower, right? It's not you can't be hard on yourself at the same time. Like, when you do something, do it with no judgment, because it's something that it's challenging, right? And it's not going to necessarily come overnight. You build yourself up, but this is the thing. It also, when you take too long, you're going to leave so much room for doubting yourself. When you leave room to doubt yourself, you're going to come up with 1,000 different reasons why you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do it and you get over that, and then you're like, damn, this wasn't so, this wasn't so bad. It's bad, and it does. It creates that empowerment. But you know what we have to learn from that is to carry that into the next thing.
Yes.
That's growth. Because if you do that, like, we'll use you for example, right? And you do that, and then all of a sudden you have another thing that comes up, and then you don't learn from that to overcome that, hey, you know what? I just need to do it. What did it do? Reflect on it. Like, when I went to the gym, it took me a second, but that was a good lesson, right? I overcame it. And then you take on the next challenge, and it's a little bit faster. So if we learn from these things and we pass no judgments, because sometimes people are like, oh, damn it took me so long to do this. You know what? That's what you needed in order to step into that.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm just saying, that plays a huge part, is to not hold that judgment for yourself.
Yeah. So people, just do it.
Just do it. Be like Nike, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what else were you talking about in that thing? Was it the emotional one?
So the emotional intelligence is the mindfulness and the presence, right? So staying present in the moment rather than being focused or consumed by the past regrets or future wounds. And that's another thing too. We always create in our head, like, you know, I shouldn't say always, but a lot of times, like with certain, like what we all, I can almost guarantee you that every single human being at one point or another with something in their life has done it, right? We create a scenario that hasn't even happened.
Oh, right.
Right? So why are we doing that? Just freaking go for it. Just go for it and see what it is. Because you know what? Either way, there's only so many outcomes that can come out of it. And you sitting in that and doing absolutely nothing, well, then it's going to be even more outcomes, right? Oh, I mean, there's going to be no outcome. It's going to be anxiety. You know what I mean? Because you're going to, in your head, you're going to be like, well, it could be this, or it could be that, or it could be this, or it could be that. Well, do it. That's how you find out. And it's not always, it's easier said than done, right? Because sometimes people need to build up that courage, that, you know, the self-confidence in order to do it. But that's how you build self-confidence. You start off with small things and you build into bigger things, right?
Yeah.
And like emotional expression and vulnerability. So express emotions in a healthy and constructive way rather than bottling them up and letting them explode. Being vulnerable fosters deeper connection with others, right?
Being vulnerable. Say that one more time. Being vulnerable.
Being so it's like when you're being vulnerable, it fosters deeper connections with people because then they get to know you at your core. If they don't line up, then you know what? Then that's okay. Let them go.
Yeah.
But if they line up with you, then at least you're being yourself, right?
Yeah.
So they see the real you. It's not a persona that you put out there. It's not, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you can't just, like when you meet people, you're vulnerable. I advise people to be vulnerable to a certain extent, right? You have to get to know people and to, you know, there has to be that trust that builds and things like that, right? But if you're closed off completely, well, if you're closed off, then you're not going to know if you connect with that person. You automatically, it could be a relationship, a friendship, whatever it may be, right? But if you're not vulnerable, you're walking around looking like you're angry all the damn time. Who the heck is ever going to approach you? And then you're wondering like, why can't I ever, like, you know, have any friends, or why can't I, you know, find, and you know, things like that, right? Like
It'd be like, would you approach somebody like this? Or somebody like this?
I'm like, what? No, thank you.
No.
I'd actually be the person that would be like, if I saw somebody that mad, I'd be like, I'd do my little wave.
Bye-bye!
I've done my little princess wave to him. And then it usually makes the person smile. I'm like, why so grouchy?
Yeah, I pictured this, but you know how you have those tiny little hands and you'd be like,
oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You're
like,
bye. Oh, snap. That's awesome. Yeah. And like,
I'm gonna get some of those tiny little hands so I can bring them on here.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then the continuous inner work, like the emotional intelligence, isn't a one-time achievement. It's a long life journey, right? A self-reflection, healing, and growth. Shadow work, therapy, coaching, energy work like Reiki can also support these processes. Because, well, what does it do? When you learn to meditate, or you go and you see a Reiki practitioner, or you learn to balance your chakras, you learn to clear your energy, you learn to, this is the thing though, it's not a myth. You pick up on people's energies. I always say, if you walk into a room and you can sense somebody's energy, guess what? That your energy, the energy you're putting out is going to matter as well too. You're putting that out too. So what are you putting out? That's what you're in control of.
Yeah. Yep. You're
because
absolutely right.
It reflects several feet off of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I am a huge energy person. I can feel people's energy from, let's say, when you walk into a room and there's people in there, I feel I can feel it. Like, who do I feel comfortable approaching and who I don't, or like, I just totally feel it. It's a wicked thing. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I know who I vibe with before I even meet them.
Yes.
It's like you. It's like at the gym when it's like all those hundreds of people, and I'm just like, I connect to her energy, you know? That's how it was. It was weird.
Yeah, we had enough from the damn start. Like, it was like, you were contagious.
So are you. So are you.
I love it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good times.
Absolutely. And like social skills, building healthy relationships by practicing active listening, like effective communication, also conflict resolution, and with the strong emotional intelligence, right? It enhances both personal and professional relationships. Because think about it, if you're emotionally balanced, right, you have enough emotional intelligence to understand yourself, know what be aware of yourself and what you tolerate, what you don't, what you stand for, what your core values, what your, you know, what makes you you. Because you're not, every single human being is going to be different in certain, and no matter how much you are like, you're going to be different in certain things, right? And understand you. So having healthy relationships, right, by practicing active listening and effective communication, you set clear boundaries. You have to have clear boundaries.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have clear boundaries, somebody's going to walk all over you.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. That's right. Or they'll take. I like when you're talking about, you know, really getting to know yourself. I mean, I'm 56, and every time I, you know, get involved with anybody or whatever, I learn a little bit more about myself every effing time. And I think it is so important. And when I take that gap in time between, you know, hanging out with people or whatever, and I'm really want to really focus on the inside, trying to understand each feeling that's coming up and all this kind of stuff. It's just so important because I don't know. I think we change as we go through life and go through different circumstances, that each time we change, we have to get to know ourselves again.
It's also, yes, but it also, you do have to get to know yourself, but in a way, I look at it a little bit different. So yes, in that concept, you do get to know yourself. I think you get to know yourself not again, but better. I think you understand yourself better, because every single time we go through any kind of encounter, it could be work related, friendship, relationship, whatever, right? If you take that time and you reflect, I can guarantee you will learn something out of it. But this is the thing though, it's accountability. It's accountability that has to be played on all ends. And that's what sometimes people have a hard time with, is because then if sometimes, and I've ran into people that if they were to take accountability, they would feel like shit. They think in their head that they're a horrible person for it. You're not a horrible person. That's the thing though. And that's where sometimes people have a hard time taking accountability, because they automatically place themselves in this box as like, I'm I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not handsome enough. I'm not, qualified enough. I'm not, I mean, it could be a lot of different things. Like I'm the worst person on the planet type thing, right? When in all fairness, though, if you acknowledge it and you take accountability and you change that, guess what? Everybody's gonna makes mistakes, but take the accountability and change it. That's how you become a better person.
Mm.
And you have to do that, and you also have to you can't take all the blame either, though, right? Because it's always that balance. As I always say, it has to be a yin yang balance. It does with everything that we do, because sometimes we also like, oh, it's our fault when this happened, and you blame yourself for everything. You can't do that either. You have to place the accountability where it's due. Like put that accountability on the person that it's intended for.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
You know what I mean?
If you could do like like an assignment for someone, or for everybody, like something like really, like, what are some things that you would write down on a piece of paper? Like, this is kind of what, I don't know why I was thinking this. It's like, okay, who am I? What do I stand for? And you write those descriptions on a piece of paper or something to remind yourself who the hell you are.
So I'm gonna give you a couple of them.
Okay.
So who am I when no one is watching?
Ooh,
that's one of them.
That's
who are you when no one is watching? Because that should be the same person that shows up when somebody's watching too.
Oh my God, yes.
What are your core values, and do you live by them? That's number 2. What dreams do you suppress or fear? Do you have any? Like, not you as a person, but what dreams do you have as a person, right? As an individual that you suppress or you're scared of? That it's fear-based, right? And or external expectations.
External expectations. Okay.
So what dreams do you suppress due to fear or external expectations? That would be the question. And also, how do you show up in relationships? Love, fear, or something in between?
Hey. Yeah. Okay.
Do you listen to respond, or do you listen to understand? Because there's a huge difference. Do we listen to fully understand where that person is coming from, and to fully take it in and put ourselves in that person's shoes and like actually think of it from a different perspective? Or do we just prepare ourselves for an answer when somebody says something? Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Do you operate out of scarcity mindset or abundance mindset? That's another one.
That's a good one too.
Because there's a huge difference between those.
Oh, definitely.
And what parts of yourself do you struggle with accepting, and why? That's another one.
Damn,
how can you step into your full potential? Are you living authentically, as I always say, or are you putting on almost like a show, a performance?
Those are really good questions to really ask yourself. Get to know. I know that I don't even know why I want to say this, but get to know your damn self.
Exactly.
all about that. That way, no matter what, you won't sway from who you are when you really know who you are. You won't sway.
You become like a damn oak tree almost. I'll use the oak tree analogy. But you become unfreaking shakeable. It doesn't matter what comes at you. You're still you as a person. Like, you don't sway to impress somebody. You don't say this just because that person is in front of you and this next person is this way. Or if you don't stand behind that, you don't just all of a sudden change that, and they're like, change your values and your integrity for it, right? Because when you know your power and you know what you stand for, you're not gonna stand for bullshit. It's as simple as that. And the other thing is, what truly brings you joy? And when was the last time you felt it? You know, you got to focus on that.
Say that right now. I do. I feel joy every single day with those damn fucking feral cats.
You're doing such an amazing job with them.
Hey, and you know what? And when you say that one question about who are you when nobody's looking, I'm pretty damn fucking authentic in that aspect.
Yes, you are. You're an amazing human being.
And I'm going to pat on the back for that, because
high five.
Right? And I know you are the same way. But yeah, I like who I am when nobody's looking. I really, really do. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I have to say, there ain't nothing. Yeah. Nothing I would change.
You're an amazing human being. Yes, you are.
You are.
I'm proud of you. So, should we go over? So, like, for example, what are some benefits of like strong communication skills? Well, and it not only does it enhance like your relationship, prevent misunderstanding, and like foster like deeper connections with people, but other that be like personal, work related, just out and about in the community. It's you have to learn to communicate effectively in order for doors to be open to success for you and fulfillment. You have to, because if you don't communicate effectively, how are you going to align with what you need, with what you want, right? And so it's also because in itself, right, the communication, to have great communication skills, it means you speak clearly, effectively, you express your thoughts, your emotions, your ideas, and you actively listen and understand others. Again, it boils down to emotional intelligence and communicational skills, they go hand in hand, right? A lot of things go hand in hand because you have to be balanced in those, right? And you have to make sure also, like, for example, if you take a relationship or a friendship, right? You both have to come from a empathetic place. You both have to come with clarity, right? Because both parties have to feel heard. If both parties don't feel heard, that is not active communication. That is not it's not communicate. It's not clear communication. It's not concisive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like clarity and conciseness, empathy and understanding, nonverbal communication as well too, right? Like body language, facial expressions. If you're talking to someone and like, let's say you're saying something to me and I'm just like, you know, I'm doing this, so you're gonna feel like I'm hearing you. You're gonna be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, like, hello? Yeah.
Right?
I'll go find somebody that will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, it's also adaptability. That's huge. Learning to adapt to whoever is in front of you. And what I mean by that is like adjust your communication style depending on the situation or the person you're speaking with. Like personal, professional, you know what I mean? If you're emotional, it's all going to require a different approach to it, right? Because professionally, you're not going to talk to in a work environment or a business environment, clients, whoever. You're not going to speak the same way with them as you may speak with your friends. Like what I mean by that is like, what I mean is with your friends, you may be able to communicate in a way where they're going to understand you sometimes even better, right? Sometimes, like, I'll say something, you already know what the heck I'm thinking about. Where with, you know what I mean? And if I'm talking to a client or something, they're not going to be able to read my damn mind. They don't know me as a person. They don't know where I'm coming from. So my communication skills, to you, I might talk faster. Where in a professional setting, I might talk slower. I might bring it down, right? I might, you have to adjust, right? If it's, for example, let's say it's a hostile environment, you being like, me being bubbly and like I'm always loud is like, you know, Natty Boo got me that cup. I'm not loud. I'm just or I'm not yelling or something. No, what was it? Now I forgot what it says on the cup. I'm not loud. I'm just Romanian. But anyways, I'm loud, right? Like that's how my personality is. So if somebody doesn't know that, it's gonna be like, whoa,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I need to adjust it in the setting that I'm in. So like with you doing the lives and all that, it's not gonna be necessarily the same as I'm talking to, you know what I mean, in a professional setting, so to speak. Although I'm still, yeah, I'm still loud and yeah, I mean, just I tone it down, right? I adjust it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
I gotta say something on this, right? So one of my friends was a dog walker, and she was like, "Oh, one of my clients is looking for a groomer," and I was like, "Okay." So she was like, "But she'd like to meet you first," and I was like, "Okay." So I go up and I meet her thing, and my friend leaves, so I'm just there with the lady and myself, and she's like, "Have a seat." I mean, she's like interviewing me, right? And I'm just like, "Oh God, man!" And anyway, so I'm just sitting there, and you kind of know me. I'm just what? So it's kind of funny because in that circumstance, when she was asking me all these questions about grooming and da 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 da, I just looked at her and I go, okay, I just want to let you know something. Sometimes I cancel, and I'm just going to let you know that, you know, life happens. And if you cancel, I don't hold anything against you. I don't charge you. I don't do anything. But I just want you to know that sometimes I cancel as well. And I don't want you holding that against me. Well, she was like, you know, I don't know as if she knew how to respond to that. I go, I'm pretty easygoing like that, you know, and I was just whatever. Well, anyway, my friend that hooked us up, she said, "Oh my God, what did you say to Sue?" That's the lady's name. I go, "Why?" She's like, "Because she's like, I never in my life met somebody that was so like, who cares if she gets the business or not?" It was just like, you know, she was just so like, and then Bree's like, was she like very free spirited? And she was like, yes, that was it. But she couldn't get over it because a lot of people apparently that used to groom dogs or whatever like that, you know, they come across so very professional and da, da. And I'm just sitting there like, well, I'm just going to tell you right now, sometimes I cancel, and if you cancel, that's fine with me too. And she's just like, she didn't know how to take that. She really did.
But
And most of my customers don't, because I tell all my customers that when I get a new client, I always tell them I'm a very chilled out groomer. Life happens, and I just want you to know that I don't, if you cancel, I don't hold anything against you. We'll reschedule. But listen, I also cancel because I've had customers get pissed off at me for canceling. And I'm just like, no, that's not the customers that I want.
yeah, exactly. Because this is the thing though with that. For one, you have to be authentic. And the other thing is you also, the thing is though, people tend to not everybody. So some people, okay, they look at it as they forget for a second when they go in for a service or do something that all of a sudden, yes, you should have great service, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to have great service. But this is the thing, if somebody was to cancel, so for example, I'm your customer and you grew Millie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting you to be on point, but I'm not going to be on point. That's a double standard. That's like as I was saying with that justice thing, right? It makes a huge difference to people when you present them with a scenario of a regular coworker versus a family member or a loved of some sort where they have a connection. It's that same concept that goes into it. And that's where you have to think as a person, like if something came up, I would cancel, right? Well, if something comes up in her life, then why the heck shouldn't I? You know, but that's where people don't expand their mind. They don't have an open mind. It's a one way, you know, like if it's convenient for me, then that's okay. But if it's not convenient for them, then that's bad service. No, it's not. It's the same concept. It's
Right.
actually you being straightforward is actually better customer service than somebody being like, oh no, I don't cancel, I don't do this, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? What if you take a scenario, your kid gets sick, you all of a sudden you get into a car accident, something happens, you're gonna cancel. So you can't say you never cancel or you have to have that open understanding, the open communication, and also customers sometimes need to realize that guess what? The person on the other end, yes, they should give you a great service. However, shit happens in their life too, just like yours.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I make it clear, like,
Yeah.
cancel, I don't hold anything against you, but listen, I cancel too. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
If there's a day I don't feel like working, it's a physical job. So if some days I wake up and I'm just like, it's not for me today. It's not often, but I do sometimes, and I have to cancel. Or I want to cancel, or if Cooper's like, hey, I want to come in this next week, I'm going to cancel all my damn appointments that week. You know, if my boy's going to come visit me, that's just how I roll. So, but yeah, it is good to communicate, but it should not be a double standard. It should be equal. And I treat you like I want to be treated.
Exactly.
And that's just how I do business. But yeah. There's no, yeah. Anyway, I don't even know what brought that up, but
more people should be like that.
Yeah.
And also another thing with like effective communication is like confidence without aggression. There's a difference in that, right?
Yes.
Because when you come at it, when you're confident in what you're saying, that's different than coming at it with aggression. When you come with aggression, like when you're confident, it's self-awareness, self-assurance. It's being when you come with aggression is all of a sudden you start being insulting. You start taking down the person.
Yeah.
And you making them small, you're trying to make them smaller versus you can get your point across by being confident, stating your thing. And guess what? You may agree or you may disagree. That's okay. Both are okay.
Mm-hmm.
But just make sure you both heard, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not clear about something, don't assume it. Just ask it. Asking and clarifying, there's nothing wrong with that. And if the person gets offended, then that's on them.
Yeah.
It shows emotional maturity. And that's where communication and emotional maturity go hand in hand, right? Emotional intelligence and communication, they have to both, it's all about self-awareness. It all ties into that whole concept of being aware of yourself, right?
Yeah. I think communication is the absolute most important thing. Although sometimes, I think we touched base on this last night. Sometimes, like, I might want to communicate something, but something tells me don't say it. Don't go there.
Then you know what? That's your intuition.
That's an instinctual thing, saying that what you're about to say is going to backfire.
Or that you need more time to process it and deliver it in a different way. It's not always that it's going to backfire. It's that your delivery may not be the way you want it to be in that moment. So it may come off completely different than what you intend. That's what that So I guess in a way, yeah, that is backfiring, right? But yeah.
And would you say that if you're reluctant to say something, maybe what you're about to say is really not 100% clear within yourself, so you hold back?
Or it could be fear. It could be
there's a reason.
Yeah. There's a reason behind it always, because if you don't speak it, there's something holding you back. You're not comfortable. You don't feel like it's the right thing. It's not a safe space. That's what it boils down to.
Amen.
If it's not a safe space, you are not going to open up.
Right.
Who the heck is going to be vulnerable if you don't have a safe space? Like, no, my boundaries are going to be up. All of a sudden the wall of China times 1,000 is going to be up. Because at that point, I'm like, why am I wasting my energy to do that? No. That's where you have to know, again, who's there for you and who's really not there for you. And guess what? You can wish them well, let them go on their merry way. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah. All right. Now, I know we're talking about communication intelligence or whatever. What is your, because I came across a post that a friend put on Facebook, and it said something about, I'll forgive you in the quiet, and basically it was something like, I'm not going to speak to you about this. I'll forgive you in the quiet, and I'll never speak to you again. It was a post like that. And to me, I looked at that and I was just like, nope, that is not a good thing. For one, that's ghosting, I think. For two, neither one of you are growing, because they don't even know they're forgiven for whatever they did. So it's not a closure. It's not a closure on either end. You never said the words. You just shut it off, ghosted, just blocked or whatever. And I just don't think you should at least say those last words, right? Because that's going to affect both of you guys in a healing and a growth area.
Absolutely.
You think that you're shutting somebody off and you're like, oh, I got the power.
But you don't.
You don't, because those unspoken words, you never clarified shit to that person of why you're cutting them off.
Yeah, and this is the thing though. With forgiveness, people think that forgiveness this is the thing. When you forgive, people say, well, I forgive you for me. But when you forgive someone, you're giving them a pass. This is what it truly is. When you forgive someone truly, you are saying, okay, I'm giving you peace of mind. But a lot of times what people don't do though, is it really forgiveness? Because forgiveness, it should be when you understand, you've allowed yourself to process those feelings. You forgive them because you know what? You're like, okay, I forgive what you did. Like, I understand you are not necessarily coming from a good place. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to ever talk to them again. But this is the thing. When you haven't healed inside, you truly haven't forgiven. Because you can say it all along that you forgive something, but you just, like I said, you give that person peace of mind. You don't give yourself peace of mind. If you gave yourself peace of mind, you sat with those emotions and you actually allowed yourself to feel them, work through them, understand yourself, become self-aware, then you know what? Then you've truly forgiven. But both things need to happen.
Right. And I don't get that, because a lot of people get shut out or ghosted or whatever, you know, and it's like, okay, what positive is that even doing? And somebody be like, the person that's doing the ghosting is like, well, because now they feel like they're well, I don't even know what they feel like, because I've never ghosted anybody.
See, the thing is, it could be a variety of things, and to each person it's different, right? But it could be an empowerment thing, right? You don't want to. You could look at it as like, oh, I just don't want to put my energy into it. However, emotional intelligence and being self-aware is actually you being able to actually express it and say, hey, you know what? We're not. I don't see your point. I don't align with it. We need to go our separate ways. That's being emotionally intelligent, because if you need to ghost someone, then that means you got triggered in one way or another. So you need to sit with that feeling for a second and see what triggered you.
Right. If you want to grow and
grow as a person and understand it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, that post came up last night, and I was just like, I had to disagree with it. And I put down there, I was like, and for one, you do not have to forgive.
Nope, you don't. You do not. No.
Yourself.
No.
Bullshit on that. I'm just saying, that's my thing. You can communicate, nice words or whatever, but sometimes something that somebody does to somebody is unforgivable in some cases, and you don't have to. At least I think you don't have to forgive to feel better in yourself.
No, you don't. Like, you give the person.
I'll never understand that, but you are who you are. You did it from what you know as where you're at or whatever it is. I'll never understand it. And you can even say like that, but it's just not for me. That cut this off and but good riddance.
And that's emotional intelligence. That's clear communication. Amen. That's where you become self-aware. And again, people think that like I said, I wish people understood that. They think that forgiving someone is actually doing them a favor. It's doing them a favor if they're worked out through their stuff as well. Because otherwise, forgiving someone, you give them a pat, like it's not a pass. You're giving them peace of mind. But have you really forgave them? Because if deep down inside you still have emotions that are coming up and you're getting triggered by that person, then you really have not forgiven them.
Right.
So just make sure you're clear with when you say that you forgive someone, that it's actually, that's what it is.
Yeah. And it's not just words.
No, it's not. And the thing is, though, I mean, yeah.
Have you forgiven somebody once you sat with it for however long? Have you been like, oh my God, I can totally forgive because this is my understanding now. Yeah. And I can actually move forward and truly 100% forgive that person. I have too. And you know who it was for? My dad.
I thought you were going to say that.
My dad. It took me years. Even after he died, I was just like, and then one day it was just something came up, and then everything, I was just like, it was just like I understood it. I understood him. I understood me. And I was just like, oh my God, I forgive. And it was really, truly from the heart with an understanding behind it.
I've done that. And that's, again, there's a difference in forgiving and forgetting, right? I forgive, like I don't hold things against people. Like I work through it and then I see where they're like where they are in their stages, and I'm just like, you know what? I forgive you. I don't have to agree with it, but I'm healed. Like once that healing goes within the side of me, that's when I can forgive. But if I'm not healed from the situation, then no, I can't forgive. I can't just say I forgive you when I don't. So for me, I've learned to look at things in a whole different perspective throughout the years. So yeah, I would say I forgive people, but that's once I process everything. You know what I mean? Like I have to allow myself that time to process and look at both and the accountability on my part and their part. And then I can move past it, right? But it's always a two-way street. It's not I mean, unless there's let me take that, yes and no. When you're a child and or you know what I mean, then it's not necessarily a two-way street. There's sometimes where it's not necessarily a two-way street, even in adults, right? And it depends on the situation. So it's not, but most of the time it is a two-way street as we get to adults because we allow it to a certain extent. We feel we get into our own head and we don't see the clear vision. Now it doesn't mean that we're bad for it or that we need to like make ourselves like whole, you know what I mean, like put ourselves in a oh well I should have been smarter, or you know, bring ourselves down and hold judgment towards it. No, it was just our lesson to learn, and that's the way I look at things. It's just it's the lessons that we go through, the experiences we go through, they all carry something, and it's always towards our growth in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because things, they don't happen to us, they happen for us.
In most cases, yes.
In most cases, yes. But no, no, even like yes, in most cases, yes. Because like it makes us, it ultimately results into what it's supposed to be. That's it, it does. Even when, let's say you're, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think when it's done to a child or something like that, it's not a two-way thing. That's
what I'm saying. No, that's what I was saying. It's not always necessarily a two-way. As adults, yes.
Yeah.
But as children, absolutely not. We don't. And even as adults, sometimes it's not a two-way. There is certain situations where it's not a two-way. Right? But also, even in like you put, how do I like as a child, even with if something happens as a kid, right? As people, yeah, it might not be fair, it might not be just, but you know what? It does shape us into who we are. It does. It does.
Yeah, I wouldn't be who I am today if my morals, my everything boils down to how I was raised and how I looked at things and how I started making decisions on how I want to be as an adult and all that kind of stuff. So,
right?
Yeah, I have to agree with that for sure. Yeah.
Should we do a card?
Do it.
Okay. I'm a shuffle.
Okay.
No, you can see me. You don't have to listen. Okay.
Thank you, Apple. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And stop.
Top or bottom?
Top.
Okay, okay. I need drum roll. What is the best gift I have ever given myself?
What is the best gift I have ever given myself? What is the best gift I have ever given myself?
You want me to go first?
This has to do with what we talked about tonight. Seriously,
too.
About the best gift I can give myself is sitting with myself and my emotions and the thoughts and get clarity from them and understand it and grow from it is the best gift I can give myself. 100,000%.
Yep, I agree with that. The best gift I have ever given myself is understanding myself.
Understanding. Yeah. Understanding.
And keep growing and keep freaking growing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is it, because it prevents you from repeating, you know, things over and over and over again. So it's a beautiful
Mhm.
and it also has something to do with everything we talked about tonight. It's just really getting to know you, and that's a beautiful damn thing. I'm just saying.
Right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. Yes.
Should we do a one from this one?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Up that
I had a bunch of them flip out. Hang on.
that one.
Which one?
The one on top.
Okay. Who or what is informing this thought? Wait, what?
Say what? Who?
Who or what is informing this thought? The thought of talking about which thought? The one about doing this live? Who is informing it? The poll and my drive to bring awareness for people to be a best version of themselves, to tap into themselves, understand themselves, bring awareness, and just be happier, more peaceful, and yeah, just be aligned with our true, authentic self.
Mm.
I want to see the world be better. I know a lot of people say that, but I love to see people do good. I love to see people be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
I truly do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So that's that. Yeah, I guess that's what influenced that thought.
That question.
That's,
I don't understand it. But
I don't know. We could do another one.
okay, you want to do another one from your deck or mine?
Do yours. We did one of mine and one of yours. One was confusing. That last one I didn't even know how to, like, I'm like, wait,
again,
what?
or did you already shuffle them in?
I shuffled.
Okay.
Wait, what? What'd you ask me?
I said, can you ask that last question again? Or
What
wait, put the card away.
I put the card away.
Yeah, that one just went over my head. Yeah.
What influenced this thought? I think it was what influenced this thought. Hold on, now I gotta find it. It's gonna drive me crazy. That's an interesting
Good
question.
luck with that. You got like 100 cards there.
Jesus. Okay. Man, I know, right? I don't know where the hell I put it.
Yeah, because it's like the thought, like what? If we were quiet, the thought that was in our head.
I don't know what I was thinking in my head. I was thinking of what card? Wait a minute. That's what I was thinking. You were like, I was trying to think. I'm like, which card is she talking about? Because there's a few that fell out.
Right? All right, you tell me when to stop, and while you're going through those, I'll answer this or ask this question.
Okay, stop.
Ooh, the color of. What color is your sadness and why?
Wait, we asked. Wait,
no,
didn't we ask? Didn't you ask?
What color when we were mad?
Oh, my sadness
says, what color is your sadness and why?
Probably like a like a gray cloud. Like what I mean is the cloud is, it looks like dirty Minnesota snow. That's the way I picture picture it in my head. It's like dirty Minnesota snow in a cloud.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's your sadness.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the color of sadness for me? It would be well, I gotta go with it because that's what comes up. So it's like a warm orangish, reddish, like sunsetish color, like a super warm. Now, why is it warm? Why is the color with sad to me is warm? That's a good question. What color is your sadness? It's
when you warm, do you feel uncomfortable?
when I'm warm.
Mm-hmm.
Only when I'm having a hot flash. But no. But it makes
Or is it because that's what you're
sad? You got hurt. It's definitely not cold. It's a deep warmth sensation. Yeah.
Is it because it's too? Is it what I mean is like when you get hot? Are you becoming uncomfortable? Like, do you prefer to be a little chilly and put a sweater on, or do you prefer to be a little
I'm
warm?
not good with hot.
Okay, so that's
Is that
probably
that
why. That's why I was asking.
Okay, yeah, I prefer to be on the cooler side. Like
Yep.
too much sun bothers me. Yeah, I don't like to be warm in temperature wise, but yeah, that's
That would be, yeah. I could be dead wrong, but that's what I'm picking up is that you don't like the uncomfortability of the heat, but you like more of like bundling up and feeling warm in that sense, but not like
yeah.
let's say you take a 130-degree weather versus 60. You take the 60 and put a sweater on, a coat on, whatever, a beanie or whatever, versus the super extreme temperature.
Yeah. Now, why do you think yours is?
Why is mine? Because I look at it as like dirty. In my head it's like dirty. It's like a
That is.
I like beautiful. I like beautiful, like clean. To me, like the clouds being like white and fluffy and like expanding. It's soothing. When I see them all like congested, it's congestion. It to me, I picture like the dirty Minnesota snow color to the cloud, but I see like the snow in the cloud somehow. But don't ask me how.
Yeah.
But so it's that like it almost gives it. It's not like because black like a deep black color would be beautiful, but the gray is like a energy. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like
on the street and splash all that dirty muck on the white. Yeah. Okay.
Like that's why it's like that to me.
Different. Completely opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, serious, muscle girl. Completely opposite.
Mm-hmm. Why do I see dirty Minnesota snow?
And I'm all like orange, red, kind of like a sunset. Wow.
Yours and I'd be like, ooh, that's pretty. I'm gonna be a sun in this.
I want to be sad in your world, Tina. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right. I'd be like happy in your world. I'd be like warm sunshine on my face when the sunset is beautiful.
Well, sometimes when you're sad, okay, so don't, like, I feel, and this might be what you're kind of saying and what in the colors that I chose, is like when I'm sad and I'm hurt, that feeling in my chest, my heart, it is very hot.
See, and for me, it's very cold. I would draw. I get so, then I just don't give a shit. I'm just like, and I get cold. So that explains the Minnesota cold.
Right. So that's
because I
where
just get cold. Then I become like, I'm just like, at that point, I just don't give a shit. And I'm just like,
yeah,
like if I get to that point, then I don't, yeah.
yeah. Huh.
So for me, yeah, that's probably why it's like that, because it's Minnesota cold
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
cloud.
And yeah, that's
Isn't that interesting? I find that fascinating.
a good question. I liked it.
Right. You should do another
Okay, I'm
one.
gonna do another one in the white color.
I can't find the card now.
Good luck with that. Okay,
Oh my Lord. Continue. I'm trying. Let's see if I put it in the other deck or something.
So, what color is your guys' sadness on here? Whoever watches this.
Yeah, what's your sadness color? Tina sadness colors is my happy color.
Right? And I'm all about gray. I got gray stairs, gray couch, gray this and that. Weird. Okay, so tell me when to stop.
Oh, stop.
This one's a reflection.
Oh Lord.
How can you use your perception of others to understand yourself better? We answered this one before.
I was just gonna, yeah.
So I have double questions in here. Do I have to send this card deck back? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, tell me when again.
Stop.
Ooh, childhood memory, this one's name. Think back to a time you felt hurt as a child. Imagine you could speak to your child self at that moment. What would you say?
You got this. You are not small forever. You're not going to feel like this forever, and you're going to be able to feel free. And you're gonna survive. You're going to live, literally. You're going to live to see another day. That's what I would say to myself.
Right now. So that sounds, yeah. Geez.
That's the truth, though. I would literally tell myself, you're gonna be okay. You're going to open your eyes tomorrow.
Wow. Think back to the time you felt hurt as a child. Imagine you could speak to your child, and what would you say? I look back and be like, listen here, Tina. My precious little inner child. You grow up and you are going to be so different than this. And it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I'm just saying. So that's what I would say to my little child, because I think that's how I kind of came to be who I am today. It's like I knew I wasn't going to be in that much longer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, my parents did the best they could with what they knew, and that's how I forgive.
Yeah, and the thing is though, that's I mean, the same thing like with my kids. I did the best that I knew how to do. I'm sure I made 1,000 mistakes along the way, and you know what? But I always had the best intentions at heart, 100% for my children. I try my best to be everything that to be the opposite of everything that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely did, and for me, and I'm not. Like I tell my kids this all the time. I'm like, if I made a mistake with you guys, I'm not excusing it. Call me out on it. But just know that it did come from a good place. Like it wasn't ever an ill intention or malicious or anything along those lines. But I'm sure I've made 1,000 mistakes. Everybody does.
Well,
But it wasn't in the same sense.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's there. There's a difference. There's a huge difference.
Do you ever think that you would want to, like, have you ever thought of like asking your kids, like, how do they think you did, mother, or anything?
I've asked them a lot of times.
Yeah.
I ask my kids all the time. I'm like, be honest with me.
Yeah.
Like what, and and then
Change anything.
they're like, and they're always, my kiddos are so freaking amazing. They're so sweet.
Oh, I know.
And so it's like always like, like they're always very uplifting and empowering, and they genuinely do know that I did come from that with good intentions, which that's, you know what I mean? And they think I did an amazing job. I'm like, well, they're amazing, so I must have done something right.
You can tell by how your kids are, when they grow up, how they treat other people and how they interact in their own life, how good of a job you did. So I have,
and some,
yes, my parents did a damn good job as well.
you did an amazing job.
No,
and
my parents, yeah. I'm just saying.
Did you say your parents? Or
yeah,
you?
because I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have to be a good seed.
You must be a what?
I think I turned out to be a good seed.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
But that's not always a reflection of.
Yeah. Well,
that's not necessarily always a reflection of.
I took, and whatever they did that I said I'm not going to repeat. Well, I learned from that. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the key thing, though, is because you're always, even in the worst situations, there are going to be things that you're going to pick up that are actually a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It genuinely, as I always say, it builds us to really be who we are as a person. You discover your strength through those moments, right? But you're always going to pick up things that were good as well, too. So, for example, like my dad's ambition and things like that, I mean, it's directed different ways, but however, that's something that's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's something I inherited from him. I mean, I can't say about my mom because I don't know the lady, but I'm pretty sure that's strictly from my dad. Even though, you know what I mean, like him and I don't see eye to eye, it's still something that ultimately my stubbornness, and taken in a good way or not so great way, that came from him too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's things like that it's not always a negative thing, right? So yeah. I can't find this damn card. I'm telling you, Tina, I just went through all of them. I'm pretty sure.
Sitting here just listening to that and reflecting on stuff, it's like, for whatever reason, I have this picture of my dad in a good moment where he's got the smile. It's like I'm picturing a really good, loving, father, dad. Yes, it's kind of nice to see that, but it wasn't always bad. So it wasn't always bad. Not for me, my mom, but not for me. But you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
It is. Let me see it one more time. I'm gonna do this one more time to see if I can find this darn card, because I am determined to, like, there's no way it just disappeared. What is Jesus? Why am I not finding it? I don't know why I'm not finding it. I'm pretty sure that I went through all of it.
Yeah.
What? in the world? Wait, what did it start with? Now I completely forgot the
It
card. Something.
said
What am I
something about
thinking in the
what do you
thought?
think
In the thought, right?
thought or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, I found it. Who or what is informing this thought?
Who or what is informing this thought? Like what thought? Okay.
Who's informing this thought? Me, myself, and I.
Right? Yeah. Well, if you ask me that right now, I could say that thought of my dad with the smile and the like. I just pictured him in this good, fun way, and it was just from talking to you. So I don't know. That's kind of that. Who made me think of thought? What?
If that's the case, so this is the thing though. The thought depends which thought, right? Because like, well, I don't know, these thoughts honestly, like what informed the thought is, well, maybe you, the people that did the poll, the drive to see people tap into themselves. It could be a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
right?
of yourself, this lady here does Reiki and some
I do intuitive life coaching.
Intuitive life coaching, and I would highly recommend you to do her services because she's very, very, very on point, and that's no joke. She's
thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Say that. So
I appreciate your support. I appreciate you. Like I've been posting. I do my due diligence. I genuinely want to bring something, so I want to hear people's feedback. Yeah, like I would appreciate that as well too. Like I noticed they're getting traction. My videos are getting more traction and things like that, which I'm extremely grateful for everyone who supports them and who likes them and comments and all that. Like thank you, because that's how it's going to keep growing. And a lot of people, I feel like they don't necessarily realize that I do intuitive life coaching, or that I do have a Reiki master, practice life force energy healing. So it's bringing awareness, a lot of it, because a lot of people know me from other things I have done, but not necessarily this, right? And this is genuinely, I don't do this for popularity. I want to be very clear about this. I didn't start doing this business because it was for me something that I wanted popularity with or things like that. It was genuinely from the heart. 100%.
Oh, definitely. I can vouch for that.
It was.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear about that, because, and I'm not saying that, anybody out there does it for that or whatever. I just want to be clear what my intentions are. That's it.
Yeah. It's
so,
true intentions. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Well, shall we sign off and meet back here next Thursday at the same time?
Yes, we shall.
Right.
And I just want to tell everybody who's been on here, who's so supportive. Hi, Liz. Hi, Ron. Hi, Ron. There's 2 Rons on here. You do it. You do it for you, girl. Damn right. I do it not just for me, though. What I mean is, I genuinely started doing this. It was not for me. It was to bring awareness to people. Like I said in the beginning, I want to see people do good. I want to see people be the best versions of themselves, understand each other, and all of that. So,
and in order to do that, you really got to be centered in yourself.
Yep, and you got to be balanced.
Today was some good points with the communication and the emotion. So with that,
yes, next Thursday at the same time. And well, I'll do another poll. I want to see what people like. I'll keep that poll going and see if it changes for next week.
Okay.
And then I'll take down the one for the times because we'll just do it around this time. And then for the topic, then if it doesn't change, then we'll pick a topic or something that we haven't talked about, and then maybe it could bring awareness or dive into it, so we can tap into it a little more.
And if there's a subject on here that anybody's listening and they want to talk about, put it in the feed and she'll look into it.
Absolutely. Put it in the feed because I'm going to keep the one with the topics open for the polls. So you can always add a topic in there if you want in the comments or whatever, and I'll look at it and then go from there. But yeah.
And would you say that it's open to any topic?
Yeah, I'm open to any topic.
Okay.
I'm open. Why not?
Right?
Yeah. It's the most, like, I want it to be authentic. It's not, you know what I mean? Like it's shit that people want to talk about. And the other thing is with the videos, I'm getting a little better at doing them on my own. Oh my gosh, like my my anxiety is like, I forget everything that goes on.
Oh, you can't even tell. You can't even tell the videos. They just...
Oh snap.
Yeah. So.
But it's true. So then, like, with like more things, I have to like, okay, I'm like, just look somewhere else. Don't look at the camera. Just look somewhere else. You're gonna be just fine. Because once I open my mouth, it just comes out. But
yeah.
So yeah.
I'm just saying. So.
Well, next Thursday it is. Everyone on here, thank you so much for your support, and we will see you guys next Thursday. And I just want to tell you guys, love you. Mwah! And Tina, I love you, lady. Thank you for your support, for doing this with me. You are amazing. And
I love it.
Until next time.
I love it. Thank you for choosing me to do these with you.
Hell yeah. You've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
The first time I ever did it was with you. So, of course, it's going to be with you.
Yeah, I love it. So,
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I will chat at you later.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. Love ya.
Bye-bye.
Peace.